knows about the grind. Yeah, bubble grind.
Now we have a guy that could probably get in there if you...
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers hit the road once again. Well, hello there, nasties. How you doing on this Tuesday? Another beautiful day in the city of champions. This is EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zach Kubusch in the house as it's Oilers game day. Joaquin, could get ugly, could turn things around. We'll break it all down here on EST Afternoons. Like always, hit us up on the River Korean Box, 780-218-9999. Hit us up on the Nasty Chatter for there. Slam that thumbs up. Okay. Joaquin, we need to get our downloads down and our follows on Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever you use. So all you have to do is take out your phone, right?
What, are downloads down? What did you say?
Yeah, to download our show. Follow us.
Okay.
Yeah. Just grab your phone, whatever you use, whatever platform, go EST Afternoons, and then there's like a follow button. That's all you got to do. All it does is push our content to the top of your feed. We'd greatly appreciate it. Let's get those numbers up. We're live from the William Huff Studios, west side of the city. Joaquin just did 2 guys and a goalie. How was it?
It was great because we went back in time, buddy. It was all positive. The first 33 minutes.
Why?
We were talking about the Four Nations.
Oh, well, I guess you guys haven't been able to touch on it.
No, yeah. Just to hear, because what Dusty experienced was different than all of us.
Of course, yeah.
So he was in the belly of the beast and yelling at Americans. I think he actually had to go buy some Kevlar, and they were talking about the 51st state and all this other stuff. But who had the last laugh, buddy? Who had the last laugh?
Connor McDavid. And now we're all laughing at him. Let's tee up the show. 140, Erik Erlendsson from lightninginsider.com. He does a great job covering the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's been doing it for years. I think he joined us when they were in town. So that'll be a fun conversation. 205, Heat and Smoke. Gager and Hernan will test their knowledge as Koob has some interesting questions. He said I should study 1926. I don't know how far back he's going, but it's going to be interesting.
Oh, way back to the old days. You said you guys were reminiscing on 2 guys and a goalie. We're going way back for some of those questions.
Back.
Way back.
Back.
All right. And Eddie Sefko will join us from Mavs.com as Luka takes on his former team. Dusty's pumped. Are you pumped? I'll dabble into that game. Why not?
Really?
Yeah, we'll see how much hate there is towards Luka. It is in LA, so it's a little bit different, Joaquin. It's not going to be as bad, obviously, because he's the home team. But we'll have a quick conversation with good old Eddie Sefko there, talk some association, but lots of Oilers to get to. So I lost my headphones. Don't ask me how. So I'm trying these new ones out, and only one of them works. And I'm just a hot mess on this Tuesday, Joaquin. A hot mess.
You're fine. You can still hear out of it.
Yeah.
For everyone who doesn't know, like Hernan's basically deaf, right? Like his headphones in the breaks, he takes them off. I can hear them. Like it would be the equivalent of putting 2 massive speakers on each side of your head and blasting them. So
they're just as loud as Dusty's.
Again, I can hear their headphones. Like Dusty's the same way. I don't know how you guys handle that. You're going to have damage later. You already do.
You guys all have baby ears.
No, we have ears that hear.
Baby ears? Isn't that a good thing to have younger ears?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
It's like saying your knees are like babies. Like, okay,
Yeah, you can-
they're
you
not
can
That's what
hear
you
stuff.
think. That's what you think.
You should have
right.
you should have gone to the Tell Us World of Science when they had the body exhibit, because then they had a big ear and you could do your hearing tests right there and see what frequency you can hear. Actually, we should do that here and see how.
Like in the first break, I'm going to go look for other ones because I can't. This is driving me crazy right now. I can barely hear myself, my beautiful tones.
Not missing much.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding.
Joaquin,
What?
the Oilers look to snap a 3-game losing streak as they face the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are on a 5-game winning streak. They've picked up points in 6 straight. The Oilers beat them first time around 2-1. Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid scored the goals. It was a 2-1 game. It was a really exciting game, though. Vasilevsky was awesome in that game. Do you remember?
Oh, he was. Yeah, that was we refer to that in the business as goalie porn. Like watching him he's poetry.
It was sexy. Yeah,
he was so good. Even I remember Dusty commenting on it. The way he moves around the crease. How he's the perfect mix of goaltender where, on the ice, he can move around still. He takes everything away. The lower part of the net, he's the ability to make the big save. There's a reason why he's considered the best goalie on the planet still. He makes, through all those levels of the Tampa Bay Lightning on the defensive side, and then you finally, you generate a good chance. And then you got to go up against him, right? And he has the ability to get in the shooters' heads where I can't score him. I gotta try to pass this or do something else. That's how good he is. Like for the Edmonton Oilers tonight to have any type of success, got to have shots, got to have people going to the net.
Well, you got to give a better effort, plain and simple. You got to defend. You got to wake up. You need to save. Your PK's got to stop leaking. Here are the lines: Arvidsson, McDavid, Hyman. Podkolzin with Draisaitl and Savoy. Janmark with RNH and Brown. Kapanen, Henrique, Perry. Defensively, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, Emberson. Stuart Skinner gets a start. What is Knobloch doing, Joaquin?
I don't know, man.
I'm shifting a bit here on Knobloch, man. Like, he can't stick to a lineup. He's taking out the guy that scored last game, has 11 goals, more than a lot of these guys. Was probably the only line that created 2 back-to-back good shifts in that Washington game. And Jeff Skinner is out once again for a guy who has he's a penalty killer. The penalty kill sucks. Who cares if Janmark's out? He has 2 freaking goals. And then Klingberg, Joaquin, for me, it's you have 5 games till the damn trade deadline. Yes, he was bad in Washington, but so was everyone else. See what you got, or it's one or the other. They either already know they need to upgrade, or the Oilers management right now, or the coaching stuff, whatever. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, because like what I said yesterday, right? What did I think? How they should moving forward with the goaltender situation. I think you have to solidify your number one and give him time to get his game. But that's with everything too. That's with your lineup. Like I all this tinkering and things. That's if you don't know what you have by now.
That's what
I don't know what's going on.
Good point by Desker. Says Klingberg might be maintenance, but that's also concerning.
Yeah, because
he hasn't played a lot of hockey.
How are you going to play every second night for for 2.5 months?
That's a good point, though. That's one I missed. But Arvidsson. So let's throw another struggling guy with McDavid. Arvidsson hasn't been good enough. I just stick with what's made you successful. Stop tinkering with the damn lineup. Like it's like, and listen, sure, if you want Stetcher in, whatever. Sure. I didn't want Emberson out. But you brought in Klingberg to see if you can stand pat on this defense going into the deadline. And I'm saying right now, you go in with these 7, you're in trouble. But play Klingberg. At least give him these 5 games and say, you know what? We're going to cut bait with you. It didn't work out the way we anticipated. There's no movement. There's nothing like that. But play the damn guy, Joaquin. You really need to get Troy Stetcher in the lineup? Really?
Maybe they want to get him in.
Okay, so are you worried about his feelings, or are you trying to coach a hockey team?
Feelings?
Well, come on. You're just messing with me now. Am I too fired up for this?
Yeah, you are. It's because you couldn't find your headphones.
Yeah, that's pissing me off, too. McLovin says, I'm with you, Hernan. Knob is floundering. He is. And then, Joaquin, what's going to happen tonight? These lines are going to stink. He's going to go nuclear right away.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
all we have to do is wait till McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice. Hopefully they can score a damn goal.
Yeah. So, Savoy with Draisaitl, Podkolzin. What are we doing?
Like, enough with Podkolzin, man.
What are we doing here? You know?
I don't mind Savoy.
Well,
I heard you.
we don't know what you don't know what you have yet. So yeah, you want to see what he has. But
2 anchors with RNH. Let's call it how it is. Brown and Yamark have not been good. And then you have the struggling Enrique with Perry, who's been one of the better forwards, and Kapanen, sure. But Joaquin, my friend, no me gusta.
Look, just show me something. I don't really care about the lineups, buddy. I really don't care. After watching the last 3 games, I want to see a commitment to defense.
Good point.
That's what I want to see. If you remember the last game here against the Colorado Avalanche, I mean, Skinner wasn't great, but it wasn't a good game by the Edmonton Oilers, right? It was exciting. It was fun to watch, but it just wasn't good enough on the defensive side. Too leaky. Too many chances were just handed to teams, and that it leaked into the game on Saturday against the Flyers. And again, I mean the Washington Capitals just manhandled they made them look like an American Hockey League team. So I want to see some fire, like guys that are mad that they've dropped 4 in a row here. Get their stuff together on this road trip. Start coming together and get ready for what you hope to be again is a successful playoff run. Because how they're playing now, man, that's going to be a very, looking at the teams that they would play in the first round. I mean, the possibilities they could play the Colorado Avalanche. That's over pretty quick. You know, you don't even have time to go to the fridge to get a beer, and that series is over.
So let's fast forward. Playoffs are starting. Like, does he even know what lines he would roll with?
No.
Like, seriously, outside of putting Leon and Connor together.
No,
because he keeps switching them.
I don't know what you.
Colton's on the second line come playoffs. I'm going to lose him.
Oh, he's going to be there.
There can be something stuck in the middle of that TV.
He's going because Leon prefers to play with him rather than anyone else.
Okay, but Leon, this is for me. Leon's not the coach.
Yeah, I know. And if this is the case, who would you like to play with? I don't get it. Like you can't. You have a guy with 3 games of experience and a bottom 6 forward with a guy that probably will win the Hart Trophy this year, or could win the Hart Trophy this year.
Brock on the nasty chat. We aren't talking nearly enough about Hyman's production drop off. Yeah, he's been bad lately. He started bad, got a little bit hot there in the middle. And
yeah, but he reverted back to Hyman. At the beginning of the year, I felt that Hyman, he thought he was a 50-goal man all of a sudden, right? I know he scored a lot last year, but how did he score those goals? By just going to the muck, to the gross areas and battling hard. You don't see that dog with Hyman anymore. Like it's become a skilled game to him, in my opinion. Not all the time, but he has to find what's made him successful to where he's gotten to in his career. Arvidsson, I mean, I don't want to go through everyone, but it just hasn't been good enough. Turn the page. Let's start. I want to see a team that's starting to build towards the playoffs here. They all know what it takes when they get there. That's the thing. That's how this team was constructed. This team is constructed to have success in the playoffs. Maybe that's why. Maybe you're not, and they're still good in the regular season, but maybe it is a switch, buddy. Maybe it is a switch when they get into a 7-game series against a team and play against the same team over and over and over. That's when the juices will start to fire up, and then we'll see something different.
That's a dangerous game, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So a few people, Scotty knows, Penner's Pancakes, they're asking, is Arvidsson being showcased? I don't believe in being showcased. Everybody in the NHL knows what Arvidsson is. Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he having a down year? Yes. But I don't think GMs need to watch him in these 5 games to be like, oh, I want this player. Do you know what I mean? So
No.
I don't think this is a showcase. I think this is a coach that just look at who he plays a lot. Podkolzin, Arvidsson, because they dig pucks. They're greasy, sure. There's nothing wrong with what they do. But production-wise, they don't do it.
No.
And that's the bottom line.
I want to see way more from on the defensive side of the puck, right? I want to see them creating turnovers. I want to see some speed. No, like the amount of flybys, that's got to stop too. Starts and stops.
Can I ask you what Kat said about Skinner, Stuart Skinner?
What did he say?
On 2 guys.
I can't remember. No, I what did he say? I think I don't know what he said.
No.
What did he say?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Because he's a big Skinner guy. That's why I was.
Well, no, he didn't say much. He just said that he has to be better, right? He's not going to get traded. But I think we came to
Whoa. The Ducks picked up Husso yesterday. The alarm bells started ringing. Oiler fans went crazy.
For Ville Husso?
No, because he's going to Anaheim, so then everybody's assuming John Gibson's on the move.
Oh, what, guys? No, if you listen to Noodles made a great point this morning. What you have to realize, John Gibson gets injured all the time, right? Like he can't. I don't think even if he's here, he makes it through the playoffs. He gets injured. You have Stuart Skinner's a durable, and it's not just him. It's the defense of the Edmonton Oilers has to be better, right? Way better.
And it ain't Klingberg.
It doesn't matter if you have John Gibson and they continue to play defensively this way. You would need Skinner and Gibson in net and play with 4 forwards.
So, and listen, this is not a shot at John. I think John Klingberg's been just fine, but he's not what they need. And we said it before they signed him. We said, sure, let's see what he has. He's a good passer, excellent passer. But he struggles against speed teams. He struggles against teams that can lean on you. And we've seen it. And there's a reason why he's out of the lineup today. Do I agree with it? No, because you have 5 games left before the deadline. Play the damn guy.
He had 2 rough outings.
Yeah.
But I don't think that constant's taking him out of the lineup. Like, unless he's hurt. Like, if the hips...
The hips don't lie, man.
If the hips are telling you something, you got to listen. And if that's the case, and his hips hurt after being off for 2 weeks and playing back-to-backs,
we're in trouble.
Then
we're not, but
no. Then that was probably a poor decision.
The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. We'll continue the Oilers talk. Are you okay with Stewie Skins getting the start in net? I am. And we said it yesterday, and I clipped it for our promos, Joaquin. You run this guy these next 5 games.
Yeah. At
least 4. So let us know what do you think of the lineups, and we'll continue to break this down. Erik Erlendsson, LightningInsider.com, joins us at 1:40 here on EST. Keep slamming that thumbs up, please. And remember, go to Spotify, Apple, Google Play, whatever you have, and just follow EST Afternoons. Not just EST Afternoons, but the whole schedule here at Edmonton Sports Talk. We're back after the break. Here's Koob with your sports update.
Edmonton looks to snap their 3-game losing streak as they battle the Lightning from Tampa Bay. Catch Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas as they tee up the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST. Coverage starts at 4:30. And from Detroit, Andrew Kopp has been ruled out for the remainder of the season, undergoing surgery to repair his left pectoral tendon, needing 4 to 6 months to recover. And down south, Khalil Shakir and the Bills have agreed to a 4-year extension, keeping the 25-year-old with the team through 2029. Shakir caught 76 passes last season, good for over 800 yards and 4 touchdowns. And on the court, the Raptors face the Celtics. Golden State plays Charlotte, all while Luka Doncic returns to Dallas when his Lakers take on the Mavs seeing 7 games in the association. In 15 games in spring training, the Jays hold the Cardinals 3-2 in the 6th inning. The Yankees and Twins are tied at 4 apiece in the 7th, while the Tigers lead the Orioles 7-4 in the 6th as well. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since 1993. They're more than just plywood. They offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. Windsor Plywood Leduc, the experts you need to know. EST Afternoons returns on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of Injury Law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc, we're the experts you need to know.
Welcome back to EST Afternoons. These headphones are actually worse, but whatever. We'll power through. As I don't know.
My God. Suck it up, Buttercup. Let's go.
Welcome to EST Afternoons. Slam that thumbs up. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat and on the River Korean Box 780-218-9999. I got to get to this one.
Okay.
Peaky Sparks, if the guy's leading the league in goals, why would you take the guy who's creating the turnovers away from him, especially if he's playing with him? Now, if Dry isn't producing, he can't be the coach, but he's cooking. Would it be better if Dry had 15 less goals and $1 million guy has 20 goals or something? I disagree with that. You'd have to look at every single one of Draisaitl's goals and tell me what Podkolzin did on that goal. Seriously. And it might be really good, but I don't know that. I don't watch every 20, 30 seconds before the play.
He's done some good things.
Yeah.
Can't say he hasn't.
So since December 12th, Vasily Podkolzin has had the first or second assist only twice on a Leon Draisaitl goal. No, that can mean he dug it out for the secondary guy, got it to the primary guy, and then got it to Leon. But until someone investigates this and shows me, like, that's skewed. I'm sorry. Am I wrong?
You just, that original spot, who was supposed to be in that spot originally? Either Skinner or Arvidsson.
Yeah,
right?
That was the plan. Right?
And so, sorry, how many goals does Podkolzin have on the year?
6.
You have a guy sitting in the press box with 11 that hasn't had close to the amount of time playing beside Leon Draisaitl. There's something, and I realized that the defensive play of Jeff Skinner wasn't on par, and it was like till Christmas. It wasn't good.
Yeah,
but you saw a lot more fight in that dog when, I would say after that point, you saw a good back checking. You saw a commitment in the defensive end.
Yeah.
You saw a little bit more puck battles along the boards where Skinner was the guy coming out with the puck. You saw a progression, and it's puzzling to me to see where they are with him right now and putting him back into the press box here. It's going towards the point where he's not going to be at this team in the trade deadline. It looks like he's going to get dealt. Why wouldn't you have him in the lineup right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you putting a guy in that is supposed to be an offensive player that you don't? Does Savoy make you think, yes, I want to put him in instead of Jeff Skinner right now?
Yeah.
Does he?
No.
Yeah.
Like
not me. He didn't do that well,
No, he didn't.
There's nothing that goes, oh my gosh, I want to see this guy more with Leon. And made a great play on the goal.
And I understand that he likes these guys because they're better defensively, Joaquin. I do. But there has to be a point where you're like, hey, it's just not working offensively. You still need to score goals to win games.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look up some stuff here, Joaquin, on the fly, just so I don't get ripped to shreds.
I saw one in the nasty chat. Jeff Carew, just double checking. There's something in the rule book of having 2 goalies and 4 skaters, or no? Yeah, I was being a little cheeky there, Jeff. I think, but it would be interesting.
Definitely, and depending on, I do think the Oilers play a good game tonight, because every time they're down, Joaquin, they surprise us. Is that fair?
They do seem to take the negative energy and channel it in a really good way.
Yeah.
When the media and the what's talked about in the city about this team is viewed negatively, I find that they find to use that a little bit more and come up with a good game. I mean, look, they're going to have to at this point. And almost to the point where, when they go into games when they're considered the favorite, it always seems a little lackluster. As soon as they are told that, you're the favorites to win the Stanley Cup, you're the top contender, you've been the best team in the league for the past 2 months, all these things, and then I don't know, it just the level of play just seems to deteriorate. So maybe that we're doing them a favor with what we've been talking about. Maybe someone needs to light the fire with these guys.
Because they listen, because they're always taking shots at the media. Okay, so Vasily Podkolzin with Leon Draisaitl. In 427 minutes so far with him as a line mate, Leon Draisaitl has... No, wait. Trying to read this. Podkolzin has 5 goals and 11 assists. So 16 of his 20 points have come with Leon Draisaitl.
Okay.
Leon Draisaitl has 42 goals. Podkolzin either has the first or primary assist 11 times.
Okay.
So who's doing the other 31?
Oh, there's probably some power plays in there, right?
Yeah.
So,
but that's what I mean. It's misleading to say Leon Draisaitl's success is based off Vasily Podkolzin, Joaquin. It was the same argument we were having with Jesse Puljujarvi that he made McDavid better.
Yeah.
And he
did. No?
No. Come on. Don't get me fired up.
I'm trying not to. You're here later, so I'm trying to just, get you ready for a long night.
And it's on, and kudos to Leon. I'm going to give more credit to Leon than anyone else he's playing with. He's been outstanding this year. But imagine if Arvidsson and Skinner, one of them did work with him.
Still might happen.
Still might. Yes, it's a big if. Right?
It is a big if. It is a very, very big if. But I don't. This is why I'm not a coach. I don't understand the blender so quickly all the time here. And it seems Nabla is going the way of every other head coach that's always been here, is the de facto go to Connor and Leon early. I've embraced it now. I don't see why you just don't play them together. And
well, that's going to be the plan in the playoffs because you've messed around with the lineup so much. No one has chemistry. And then you're just going to go with the two guys that pretty much are this team is top heavy.
Yeah.
Seriously. Let's look at it, Joaquin. You laugh, but and it might be a little bit fired up. I don't know why I'm so fired up today.
Yeah, no, it's your headphones.
And yeah, it is. And I think the Oilers are going to win today. Skinner's going to be outstanding. Bouchard's going to finally score on the power play.
No.
So Leon Draisaitl has 86 points. Connor McDavid has 72. The next closest is 44 points. And that's Evan Bouchard. The next closest forward is 37. This team is top heavy.
Yeah. But I don't like, I know I don't care. I don't think this team is, like I said, I think it's built for the playoffs.
You should care though, Joaquin. You know why?
Why?
Because in the playoffs, is it easier to defend them together or on separate lines?
Depends on the team you're playing against.
I think it's harder when you have to consider Draisaitl and McDavid coming on second lines when you have them the same. Because then you throw out your best guys, your best top pairing, and say, we got to survive the McDavid Draisaitl minutes, which they will be a lot. But if we survive those, we're going to beat this team.
That's what you would be saying in the visiting dressing room for sure. But that's not going to happen. For the Edmonton Oilers to have success, they're going to have other guys are going to have to step up. They're going to need unsung heroes, which shouldn't be unsung because they should have had regular seasons where you thought, oh, this guy is going. I can't wait to see what he's going to be able to do in playoffs, right? Like, it's been a very, I don't know. We talked about this last time. Like, this seems like what happens. No, I don't want to say that.
What? Say it.
What happens with an unsuccessful playoff run?
Nothing. Only one team can win it, Joaquin. The Oilers are not going to be in the final every year. So.
I know, but I mean, this team, you know, the players that were signed, re-signed, and a lot of them were signed when Stan Bowman wasn't here. We don't know if he was consulted at that point before he was actually an Edmonton Oiler. But yeah, I mean, this is Ken Holland got them there. They get rid of Ken Holland, and you look at a lot of the players that were brought in and that are here, and aside from, what do you say, like Corey Perry?
Yeah.
Everyone else has been kind of substandard.
Yeah. At best, mediocre.
And if you would have told me Corey Perry would have 12 goals at this point?
Yeah.
I would have thought you'd been hanging out in the dispensaries too much, right? Like,
when you're a coach and you only have one card up your sleeve, you're in trouble. And everybody and their dog knows it watching the Edmonton Oilers. As soon as the game's tough, or they're down, or you need a spark, McDavid and Draisaitl go together. That's it, Joaquin. There's no other like, hey, what if these guys work? You know what? Because all he does this year, from game on, is go nuclear as soon as he can when things don't go their way.
And what did we see in the Four Nations with Cooper? Did you ever see, like, we always thought, oh my God, he's going to load all these guys up.
He did it once in a blue moon.
Not a lot, right?
Yeah.
He let everyone work stuff out.
Like, work through it.
Yeah.
No, he changed the lines ahead of game 3 because it wasn't working, which is fine, but he stuck with it.
In game, he allowed things to try to work themselves out a little bit more. And I mean, that was, you're not criticized too much with the caliber of players that you can throw out at any given point in those tournaments. But, I wish you would just use the slow cooker a little bit more, instead of the fryer.
it's for me, it's too much. It's
but we could be wrong. I could be completely wrong here, but I don't know. When I played, man, a lot of guys, when I had coaches that went to the blender quicker, a lot of guys didn't like it. There was always a few guys that really liked it, but those are the guys that played all the time, right? So it was fine for them. But you think you're doing okay on a guy's line, and then all of a sudden you get demoted and your ice time goes. It's just, so what does that do? Right then, so you think, oh my gosh, I got to do something more, and so it gets you out of it gets you out of your rhythm as a player. I think a little bit more if you know you're going to be in a playing with a certain person throughout for a longer period of time. I think it allows you to create that chemistry that you need.
Like for Jeff Skinner, he's probably sitting there saying, I barely play. Like I get probably the least minutes of the forward group, and I have 11 goals. And yes, I'm not the best defensive forward on the team, but it's not like when he's out there, Joaquin, that he's a mess. He's not. I mean, the guy's been playing in the NHL for years. You don't play that long because you're that horrible defensively.
No.
So he might not be up to par with some of the other guys, but how many times has Jeff Skinner cost you a goal? Sure, there's probably a few times, but every player on the team does. But Jeff Skinner's sitting there and saying, what do I have to do? Arvidsson doesn't do much. Podkolzin doesn't do much. I'm talking in terms of points. Jarmark does nothing in terms of points. Connor Brown has one goal in his last 20? So, I think Jeff Skinner's getting screwed. I do.
And, it doesn't get easier for the Oilers tonight, because when you look at the top two lines of the Tampa Bay Lightning, top line is Point with Kucherov and Gensel.
Yeah.
And then you have Cirelli with Hagel, who we are all quite familiar with over the last couple of weeks here, and Zegmas Girgensson. So those are two really good top two lines. And I'm sorry, but if I would take that matchup every day if I got Cirelli and Hagel going up against Leon's line.
Why wouldn't you? Just survive. That's all you got to do.
Well, I think they have the puck more, tell you the truth. With Leon, Savoy, and Podkolzin?
Oh, yeah.
If that's the matchup, if that's what Cooper's looking at, I'm going to try to get the Cirelli line out against Leon. I think you do at that point because he's a little bit more defensively minded.
Yeah.
With the ability to attack.
Yeah.
I'd keep my eye on that line tonight.
Tiki Sparks. Oh, I didn't mean dry successes from Podkolzin. I more meant he can kind of be the coach if he's leading the league in goals. How do you tell him you want to go away from it if that's actually what he wants? Piss him off or to fire him up? He's already leading the league. Well, he's not the coach. Plain and simple. This is pro sports. The players don't get to coach unless you're LeBron. So, I'm sorry. That's the way I am, man. I don't agree with that. Portion of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. NHL lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light, and you can win game tickets and 2 tickets to a surf and turf at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. We'll continue to tee up Oilers and Lightning as we'll be joined by Erik Erlendsson from lightninginsider.com coming up next here on EST Afternoons. Keep hammering that thumbs up. Let's get those numbers up. Keep the messages coming to the River Korean Box 780-218-9999 and on the Nasty Chat. Here is Koob with your sports update.
The Oilers and Lightning drop the puck from Tampa Bay. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas break it down right here on EST as they go live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 4:30. And Andrew Kopp's season is over for the Red Wings. He's out 4 to 6 months to recover from a surgery he had to repair his left pectoral tendon that he injured Saturday against the Wild. And the Red Wings play the Wild tonight while the Flames meet the Caps. The Hurricanes face the Canadiens, and the Maple Leafs drop the puck against the Bruins, seeing a dozen games around the NHL. And on the court, Toronto hosts Boston while Luka Doncic takes on his former team for the first time when the Lakers challenge the Mavericks. We also see Phoenix on the road in Memphis and the Bucks throwing down against the Rockets on a 7-game NBA slate. Tons of baseball action. The Jays lead 3-2 on the Cardinals late in the 7th. The Nationals are up 1 on the Marlins, and the Phillies and Rays are tied at 3 apiece in the 6th inning. This sports update is brought to you by Gimme Virtual Golf. And Gimme Virtual Golf has membership and flex passes to fit your style, with premium members getting complimentary winter bag storage. And don't forget, Gimme Virtual Golf is giving away 2 free hours of golf this week, so tune in into the show for that. Gimme Virtual Golf, where innovation meets the game. Find out more at gimmevirtualgolf.ca. Erik Erlendsson, lightninginsider.com, joins us after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
The EST Hangout.
The reason I would have time for Jonathan Quick, having him around Skinner to help him go through what it takes to get over the hump to actually win it. There's a guy that could sit there and knows what it's like. And how many people can Stuart Skinner actually go talk to that know what it's like to be in that moment?
Corey Perry, but without the pads on, I guess.
Very different.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you. Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. March 21st, don't miss Grits and Glamour, 2 country icons, Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan. Live at the venue at the River Cree.
Except for Monday, which was never good anyway. Tuesday, I get a little.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Hungry and need it now? The Canadian Brewhouse Express Lunch, served in under 15 minutes or it's free, Monday to Friday till 2 p.m. Roasted turkey club and soup, Alberta Wagyu ravioli, and more. Fast, fresh, and no excuses. Get to the Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
.144, welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas with you from the William Huff Studios in the west side of the city. Koob, our producer, is also in the house. Coming up at 3, it will be the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. They'll take you up to 4:30, and Tom Gazzola will jump on for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, and then they'll come back and do the last hour and take you up until 6. And then, of course, following the game from Tampa, we will jump on for the post-game show. And if the Oilers drop this one, oh boy, it's going to get nasty. Let's welcome in our guest of the day, Erik Erlendsson from lightninginsider.com. Good to have Erik back on the show. Erik, how are you doing today?
I'm good, gentlemen. How are you? Thanks for having me back. That must mean I did something good the last time, right?
Yeah. Hey, you brought the Oilers good luck because they won 2-1. So I'm sure the fans would want that as well. But let's look at this Tampa Bay Lightning team. Now they had, some guys at the Four Nations and all that, but they're on a 5-game win streak. What's kind of led to their recent success, Erik?
Well, first and foremost, it starts with Andrei Vasilevskiy in net. He doesn't get the fanfare that maybe he once did, right? Like Igor Shesterkin and Connor Hellebuyck. They kind of get the headlines now when it comes to some of the top goalies in the game. But, coming off the back surgery he had last year, we weren't sure when or if he would kind of get back to being the guy that we're used to seeing in the Vezina conversation. And he's there. He's back to that guy. He's put in some spectacular performances when the team in front of him at times hasn't been very good, including the last 2 games before the Four Nations break. But he came out of it the other night after not playing for 2 weeks, and he was great against Seattle. You know, they were outshot, I think, 37-22 or something like that, and Vasilevsky was strong. So it starts there, first and foremost. When they were going through a tough stretch in January, which included that 2-1 game in Edmonton last month, they were having problems finishing their chances. They were getting all kinds of scoring opportunities, and their guys weren't finishing. So it was like, they're top heavy. They're not getting any depth scoring. Well, their top guys are back to scoring, and they're getting depth scoring. So it's kind of come together here in the last little while at an important stretch, right? They were kind of just a team kind of hovering right around the playoff bubble a little bit, and you know, they swept the Ottawa Senators right before the break. They finished off with a couple of more divisional wins as well, and that's kind of elevated them now to where they're right on the heels of both Toronto and Florida in the division.
Erik, we've been dissecting Oilers' lines and coaching decisions of implementation of those lines for the past hour here. So, but looking at the forward group for the Tampa Bay Lightning, who do you see getting the matchup against McDavid tonight? And it looks like right now anyways that Coach Nabla has McDavid and Draisaitl split up on either line. But does Cirelli get Draisaitl? Does Point get McDavid? Or what do you see, or what does John Cooper or does he hint what matchup he likes to see?
Never hints, never gives it away. In case anybody couldn't figure that out from some of his press conferences during the Four Nations, he doesn't give too much pregame information away. I would have to imagine that with McDavid and Draisaitl split up, that Cirelli probably gets the McDavid matchup, right? He's going to face his, Four Nations teammates. Both him and Hagel are on the same line, and the other day it was Nick Paul, and it looks like they are going to go 11-7 tonight, so that'll kind of move things around a little bit for Tampa Bay's roster of what they put on the ice. But there's, Cirelli's the matchup guy. He's the guy that they feel the most comfortable when it comes to the defensive assignments, and him and Brandon Hagel have such great chemistry together. They've combined, I think, for 7 shorthanded goals this year. They're a great PK duo, and that translates to their 5-on-5 play as well. So that'll be the assignment, and it'll probably be points lineup against Draisaitl. And hopefully if you're a Lightning fan, you don't see 2 breakaways each for McDavid and Draisaitl tonight, because if you do, you're in trouble.
Erik, here in Edmonton, when the Oilers have some success, we always say they get fat and sassy, and then they fall off for a few games. Is that the case with this very experienced Tampa Bay Lightning team, that they're on a 5-game winning streak? I think they've picked up points in 6 straight, though losing in overtime in that 6th game. But is it similar to what we see here in Edmonton? Because as soon as Edmonton has some success, they kind of fall off for a couple games. Do you see that happening tonight with Tampa Bay?
Not so much like that, right? Like they're pretty consistent in the way that they play. Through 50-plus games this year for Tampa Bay, I'd say you could only pick out probably less than a handful. You're like, yeah, they're not very good tonight. And, and look, their goalie can save them on nights like that, and their high-end skill can save them on nights like that. But for the most part, it's been pretty consistent in how they play. And, the results have been up and down at times because of the fact that they couldn't finish on some of the chances they were creating. But, they have won cups, right? Like, you've got a pretty strong group in there that was even with all the changes, you've still got a good core group in there that have won a couple of Stanley Cups and know what it means to kind of just stay even keel. Like, it's a cliche, and you hear it more so in the playoffs than you do in the regular season, but you can't get too high after wins and you can't get too down after losses. You have to make sure everything is kind of, and I've heard this word brought up a lot more than I have in previous years, predictable. Right? Teams want to be predictable in how they play, and that just means be consistent in whatever it is you're doing. And a lot of times it shouldn't matter the opponent. If you're going out and playing your game and doing what you think that you need to do to accomplish, certainly you need to account for guys like McDavid and Draisaitl and be aware of when they are on the ice and no matter who it is you're playing. But for the most part, they just want to make sure that their game is consistent. And I would say that for the most part this year, the Lightning have been pretty consistent, whether they've been on a little bit of a dip or whether they've been like going into tonight on a little bit of a high.
We've seen with this team, I mean, they're second in the league as goals for at 3.6. The PP over 25%. PK's 10th. you mentioned the shorthanded goals. Has the PK been the strength of this team a little bit more? We've seen that kind of dip here in Edmonton. What area of specialty teams, or has it been the power play that's kind of helping this team, stay afloat, I guess, is the best, and hold down that third position in their division here and keep them within striking distance in this playoff run?
Probably the PK has been more consistent of the two special teams. And I mentioned Sorelli and Hagel. They're so good together. They just read each other so well. And then it's Zemgus Girgensons and Luke Glendening, the second forward pair for the most part that kill the penalties. And they've been really consistent in the way they do it. They haven't had stretches where they're really bad, and they haven't had stretches where they're, really good that kind of affect the numbers. I think they have been pretty consistent. Ironically enough, the power play, what are they, still top 5, right? Like 25%. Yeah. That's a really good power play. I would probably sit here and tell you the power play hasn't been very good. It's rescued them a couple of times. They won a game in Chicago where they needed 3 power play goals, including the winner in overtime to get out of Chicago with 2 points in a game that, they probably should have won in regulation, but they didn't. And that's to be understandable. You don't have Steven Stamkos there anymore, right? Like that weapon over in the left circle, especially with Nikita Kucherov, the way that he can feed pucks across the ice, and those two were so good together on the power play. So it's going to look different. I think out of the pure brilliance sometimes of a Kucherov, adding Jake Gensel to that top power play unit, Braden Point, Point and Gensel, I think are still tied for the league lead in power play goals, but it hasn't been as dangerous, I guess is probably the way to say it, despite what the numbers suggest. It just hasn't been as dangerous as it has been in past years. So that's an area where I think they want to be better. But the biggest thing with this team this year is their 5-on-5 play. Last year they were somewhere around -25, -30 somewhere in their 5-on-5 numbers. You look at them this year, it's a complete turnaround in their 5-on-5 play. And that's the big area they wanted to concentrate on. And they have been much better. And that's why they've been, as consistent as they have been in terms of the way they play, because their 5-on-5 play has been pretty good.
Erik Erlendsson from LightningInsider.com joining us here on EST Afternoons. Erik, I got to ask you, there was a lot of Tampa Bay Lightning players at the Four Nations 5. What did you make of the whole tournament in that final game?
Boy, was that great theater or what? That was so much fun to watch. Look, I wasn't in this is going to be a glorified all-star game category because I didn't think it was going to be. I think anytime those players put on their national jerseys, you're going to see a different type of approach to the game. And it played out that way. I think it probably exceeded really probably everybody's expectations. Right? Like, it was interesting to hear Matthew Tkachuk on the Tonight Show here last night talk about how that game against Canada in the final meant more to him than Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final last year. That kind of tells you just, I don't necessarily believe him, don't get me wrong, but that kind of tells you where their mentality was, right? And what it meant to them, and the fact that we haven't had this type of a tournament in a long time. Like even going back to the World Cup of Hockey in 2016, you didn't have all the best Americans on the same team, right? Because you had Team North America. You didn't have all the best Canadians on the same team because there was a Team North America. So you didn't have this true U.S.-Canada situation. And, it's in an ironic kind of way, the U.S. has been kind of looked at as a little brother to Canada for a long time, right? Because of the success that Hockey Canada has had. And, now you look at the roster of U.S. players and they feel that they're right there. And I think that these two games, showed the rivalry is strong, right? Like 3 fights in 9 seconds and 2 basically right off the opening draw. I mean, it gained everybody's attention in an instant. So you see that emotion, but you look at the games, like the first game, it was a 1-goal game, right? Until the empty netter at the end. And then in the final, it was an overtime game. So these two teams are so closely matched. I can't wait to see if we can get these two teams back together again in a gold medal game next February in Italy. What fun that will be. And the whole Olympics, I think, are just going to be a blast to kind of sit back and watch, develop.
Yeah, Erik, it was great here. We thoroughly enjoyed that tournament, and we're still talking about it. And it was many, many days ago. But Erik, thank you for taking the time. Enjoy the game tonight. Should be a fun one as the Oilers look to snap a 3-game losing streak while the Lightning look for their 6th straight win. Erik, thank you for your time, and we'll chat soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time.
Perfect. The Afternoon Inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. That does it for hour one here on EST Afternoons on Edmonton Oilers Game Day. The GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show gets going at 4:30, but before that, it will be Reed Wilkins and Jay Millen from 3 to 4:30. They'll jump on at 5:30 to close it out for the final half hour, and then Tommy, Cass, and myself will return for the post-game show. Coming up in hour two, Heat and Smoke next, followed by Eddie Sefko from Mavs.com to talk about Luka playing his former team tonight. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. Keep slamming that thumbs up and hit us up on the Nasty Chat and the River Korean box, 780-218-9999. We're back after the break.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
I'm going straight from here to gymnastics.
You have gymnastics.
Why can't it be me? Beam, vault,
loved
bars.
one, or
I do it all.
in all seriousness, even at your most athletic, when you were a Canada West All-Star football player, could have you done anything successfully in gymnastics?
No.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, weekday afternoon 3 to 6, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. March 21st, don't miss Grits and Glamour, two country icons, Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan. Live at the venue at the River Cree.
Except for Monday, which was never good anyway. Tuesday, I get a little.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Edmonton looks to get back in the win column against the Lightning from Tampa Bay. EST's got you set for the action with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, bringing you the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live right at 4:30 only on EST. And a couple of injuries in the NHL has Andrew Kopp out 4 to 6 months for the Red Wings. His season is over due to a left pectoral injury he suffered on Saturday, with Kopp undergoing surgery to repair the issue. Joel Eriksson Ek will also miss at least 4 games for the Wild. He makes it to the injured reserve for an injury he absorbed yesterday in practice. In the NFL, the Bills have re-upped Khalil Shakir to a 4-year deal, $32 million guaranteed, with the 25-year-old being good for over 800 yards and 4 touchdowns on 76 catches last year. 7 games in basketball sees the Raps and Celtics tip off before the Lakers duke it out against the Mavericks, and the Cavs meet the Magic. Meanwhile, spring training sees the Jays hold the Cardinals 3-2 at the bottom of the 7th with 15 games on tap. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update. The second hour of EST Afternoon starts right now.
O'clock, right on the nose. Welcome to hour 2 of EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, coming to you live from the William Huff Studios in the west side of the city. It is Oilers game day. What say you? Are you feeling confident? I think we got to be a little positive here, Joaquin. The boys are going to win tonight. No?
I already said they were losing, so.
I think they're going to win. I think every time they're in this position, they shock the hell out of it. Well, it's not a shock, but they
I think it's going to be a really hard game.
Yeah.
That's fine. And that's good. Like,
I don't think it'll be a blowout.
Oh, I think it's going to be a blowout, kind of.
For Tampa?
5-2 Tampa. But it'll be a close game. And then they'll just pull away at the end.
Get out. No, what say you? What do you think is going to happen in the Oilers tonight? I know Penner's Pancakes. I saw it earlier. He's like, I want the Oilers to win, but I want Skinner to give up 3 softies. Bouchard have 2 turnovers that lead to goals.
Pizzas?
Just for the chaos on the postgame.
Oh, he likes that, hey?
He sure does. Penner's Pancakes, you like the chaos. All right, guys. Fun first hour. We talked a lot about the Oilers and Klimberg being out, Stetcher's in, Jeff Skinner's out. The janitor, Matthias Janmark, returns. We talked about Stuart Skinner getting the net, which is, I think, the right call here. And we'll see what happens. Both power plays are elite. Top 6. Pretty damn even as well. So we'll see what the Oilers bring. And I think you said it yesterday. All you want to see is the first period, the Oilers kind of dominate. Because after those 2 weekend games, Gage, or if they lay another egg in the first period, that's concerning.
I don't think it's even dominate, buddy. I think it's just like I think you're gonna get a competitive team with Tampa. I want to see them match it. You know, there's going to be ebbs and flows of this game. But saying that, I'd like to see the Edmonton Oilers have a little bit more of the momentum side of things, you know, and generate more. This second period it's been troubling.
Bad. Yeah.
Because for a while there, that's where they really laid the boots to other teams.
Big Uke says, my bold prediction from postgame, 5-3 Oilers win, 2 power play goals, and a 100% PK. How about that? I like the positivity, Big Uke. All right, it's time now to get to Heat and Smoke. I think you won last week. No one won the first week.
I destroyed.
You won last week, so I'm going to try to get in the win column here in our third attempt at this. I don't know if Koob's ready to go here.
Yeah, well, I guess, do we want to flip a coin again, or what do we?
No,
what are
you
we
went
seeing
first.
here?
I won, so you go first.
Okay.
All right, be nice. Deferring a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Supremely confident.
He's just that confident that he's going to whoop me.
All right, of course, this is trivia between these two, so they're fighting off for points, and some questions have more than 1 point value to them. They might be a little bit deeper. Might ask you for a certain year or a number or something like that. If you get it right, you get the extra point, and whoever has more points, of course, wins. So, Hernan, you're going to get the first crack at this question, and I'm just curious. When I was looking at the NHL record books, I said, it might be from the 1900s. How good is your stats in the early days of the NHL?
Probably not good.
Probably not good. Well, I mean,
yeah.
How many people really look at that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's go.
The league has been around for a long, long time.
Chop.
I'm curious. Can you name one player in the top 10 all-time youngest players with their first 5-point NHL game? So at least one player who I guess is in the top 10 youngest to record 5 points in an NHL game. Now, there's a few.
Oh, I got one.
From the 2000s.
From the 2000s?
From the 2000s.
Lundqvist's brother?
Lundqvist's brother.
I can't remember.
I forget his name.
Joel
Lundqvist. He is not in the top 20.
Maybe in Sweden.
He scored 4 goals in 1 game.
What are you talking about?
He might have got a helper. Yeah.
We said 5, not 4.
I know, but I thought maybe he got an assist.
And it's got to be the youngest. So you mean he could have been like 24 when he did that. You know what I mean? And some of these players are young. Some of these players are pretty...
Go ahead, Gage. I already lost my turn.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews?
Austin Matthews did have 4 points, but he did not have 5.
Okay.
Of course, he scored 4 goals in his
we'll each get 2 guesses.
debut.
I'm going to go with... Is it 5 points or 5 plus?
I don't think anyone has scored more than 5. Actually, one person has. So
Okay,
5
5
plus.
goals or 5 points?
Points.
Okay. Sam Gagner.
Sam Gagner was in his
He had 8
later
points
years.
in one game.
He had 8 points in one game, but the youngest player.
Youngest.
The youngest players. So one of the top 10 youngest
Your
players.
last chance here, buddy.
Well, it's got to be someone like really young that came in.
You guys might be completely overthinking this. So the youngest players in the top 10 to record 5.
Peter Forsberg.
Right? Peter Forsberg, I do not see his name in the top 10. And this has happened a couple times like in my lifetime.
Okay, it's over.
It's over?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to name a couple players, and you guys are going to be surprised.
You know what sucks is these questions.
So the first one, 9th youngest, Connor McDavid. Wayne Gretzky was 6th youngest. And Ryan Nugent, youngest.
I guess I should have picked
Ryan
Gretz.
Nugent Hopkins was 2nd youngest.
Oh, wow.
So maybe I worded the question improperly, but
I think you did because I was so confused.
Well, 2000s.
yeah.
What are you talking about? Gretz. Okay, whatever. Let's move on.
some of these players were in the
Next
2000s.
question.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
Okay.
Too wordy with my questions. Okay, who has the most shootout goals in NHL history?
Oh, Jesus.
You go first.
Patrick Kane.
Yep, there it is. Simple as that. Plain as a day. 53 goals on 132 shot attempts, and Jonathan Taves was 2nd.
I was going to say Datsuk.
Oh, the Magic Man.
Yeah, Datsuk's got to be up there. He's 11th. He had 40 goals on only 98 tries, but both Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves 1 and 2. So Gager got that one. Maybe I just need to make easier questions there. All right, the third question. Which team, and the only team in NHL history, which team forfeited a draft? Did not pick one single player in a draft. And extra points if you could pick the year.
Arizona Coyotes.
An entire draft class. They did not make a single pick in an NHL entry draft.
Well, I already guessed Arizona Coyotes, so I know they lost a bunch of picks. That was recently, too.
That was.
With Chaika.
Quebec Nordiques?
No.
I don't know. What do you mean, forfeit or got banned from
They forfeited. They weren't banned. They gave it up, and they did not make a single pick.
I have
And it was
no
their
clue.
choice. They did not want to make a single pick.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
Absolutely no clue. You guys aren't
Are
even
we talking about the NHL here?
Yes.
Okay, what is it? What team?
St. Louis Blues in 1983, they wanted to sell the team. They were going to move it to Saskatchewan. The owner had a sell in place, but the NHL said no.
Huh?
And so they forbade all their people from making any single sort of pick. They missed out on like Pat LaFontaine. They only had 18 wins that season, I believe, too. So
that was kind of counterproductive, huh?
So 1983, the St. Louis Blues did not make a single pick in the NHL entry draft.
Right.
Okay, boys.
I'm learning a lot here.
Yeah.
When was the first outdoor game in the NHL? Not a winter classic, but a outdoor game.
Michigan.
When?
Well, that doesn't say
Where?
when.
Oh, did he say when?
Yeah.
When?
Where? When?
What is where or when?
When? When did it happen? What year?
2002.
2002. Well, the first winter classic was 2003. It was the Oilers, but not the first outdoor game.
First outdoor game?
Yeah, of all time.
I'm pretty sure.
And it wasn't an official game.
Yeah, it was something else.
It's like a college game, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was like 98 or something like that.
You might have
wasn't
been sniffing with Michigan, though.
Yeah.
You were in the right area.
I said 98.
98, even farther back than that.
Oh, really?
Even farther back.
96.
Well, I mean.
96. Still, too young. Way too young.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. I'm getting too hard with these questions, boys. February 2nd, 1954.
Oh, Jesus.
They played their first ever outdoor game. It was the Red Wings against a prison team.
Jesus.
An exhibition game because Red Wings manager Jack Adams planned the game between the Pirates and the inmates and whatever. And Yeah, they won the scrimmage, I guess. Terry Sawchuk sat on the back of his net probably the majority of the game and was signing autographs and stuff like that. But, you don't want to give inmates probably sticks, but Ted Lindsay said that he wasn't worried. He think he could look after himself.
You know what? I'd be
I
fine going up against prison guys with hockey equipment on. I'd feel just fine.
Oh, boy.
Just fine. But, yeah, he had some conversation with the warden for some reason, Jack Adams there, and they made an agreement, and then they got everything in place, and he was like, okay, so when are we having this game? Because he never thought it was going to happen, so they ended up going through with it and following through with his word, and they got absolutely stomped.
How many questions left? I got to see if I can make a comeback here.
Yeah. There's 3 more.
All right.
You need 1-0.
I'm 1-0.
Okay.
All right.
What is it? My turn, right?
I think so.
Sure.
Let's do it. Yeah. What is the cheapest trade in NHL history?
Cheapest trade?
Cheapest trade. It was dollar value.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to say $1.
It was $1? Yeah. It was $1.
I don't know who it was for, though. Trying to think.
Well, somebody could butt in if you know what the trade was for.
Yeah. Quit looking at the nasty chat.
No one knows. You think anyone knows?
I should use a lifeline and see. Read.
I think he's sniffing around. I think.
Do you know who was traded for $1 in the NHL?
He was traded for $1.
No.
It was.
I don't think he knows.
Well, he was drafted in 1989. I think 93 the trade happened. It happened in the 90s.
Wow.
The trade.
Chris Kontos.
Chris is his name, but it's not Chris Kontos. Yeah,
Chris Pronger.
The Lightning were not involved, no. It was the Wings and the Jets. It was the Jets draft pick.
Wings.
He won 4 Stanley Cups. He was a fantastic player. This is probably one of the worst trades of all time.
From the Jets and
for just $1.
The Detroit guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No,
he played Detroit on his team.
Played with Maltby.
Played over 1,100 games.
No,
in Detroit. He
Come
played with
on.
him a couple times. I don't know.
Call him. You put him into the boards.
Draper?
Yeah, Chris Draper.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was,
Nicely
Chris
done,
Draper
Hernan.
was
I don't
traded
get
for $1.
it.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, we both get half
okay.
point.
No,
All
we
right.
don't.
I got to step back on these boys.
$1? Huh?
Yeah, for a whole $1. Trading
Wow.
paper for Draper.
That was a bad trade.
Drapes.
For a cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee, man.
Well, I don't think you guys are going to get this one.
Probably
Given
not.
everything else that has gone, maybe I'm going too deep with these, thinking too hard. But Art Ross, of course, it's the trophy is given to the highest scoring player in the NHL. But I'm curious, do you guys know how many points the NHL player Art Ross actually had in his NHL career? Now I'll give you guys a hint. He only played in one season, 1917-18 to be specific, with the Montreal Wanderers.
The Wanderers.
42.
42. Very generous.
26.
26. Even lower.
This guy went, what?
I know.
10?
You think you would be a high scorer. 10, even less than that. He had 1 goal in 3 games. And they named this trophy after him.
Are you serious?
I know. So now you guys know. Yeah. Nobody would
These
know
are
this
like
unless
those
you knew
questions where you know on a test where it's just a trick question. Like
It is. That's what I'm doing here. I'm making you guys look silly.
It is a wealth of knowledge because I think a couple people are getting it here, but that's crazy.
This is less, I guess, a trivia battle more than just. Did you know that this random 1940s
this is an information
player
session.
Some information.
Yeah, jeez.
Okay, last question. I can tie it here.
Yeah, well, this one I don't know if you know the name, but who had the most goals in a single NHL game?
Daryl Sittler.
That's easy.
Daryl Sittler. Let's see. I don't know if it's actually tied. How many?
He had 11
have?
points, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just guessing. I'm
a single game. 6 goals? Nope, that is not Daryl Sittler.
No, it's not.
He's the
Sittler.
second most.
Wayne Gretzky.
No.
Stan Mikita.
Stan Mikita's a good poll, but no, he might have crossed paths with this player.
Gordie Howe.
No.
Guy Lafleur.
JM is his initials.
John Michael Lyles.
John Michael.
Joe Montana.
Joe something.
No, it has to be. Sittler scored 10, man. Did he?
11.
10
wasn't it?
goals?
Joe Sakic.
No, it's way earlier than this. Joe Malone potted 7.
Joe Malone.
Way back in 1920. I know, guys.
All right.
You guys hate me, but Joe Malone holds the record. 7 goals in a single NHL game. He did it against the Toronto St. Patrick's.
I think that might be.
You don't know, now you know.
Oh, he had the most points in one game.
Yeah, I
6
know,
goals
but
and
I
4
just
assists.
I knew it was most points, but I didn't know. I figured he's got to have some goals in there.
Some people in the nasty chat are getting this. I'm not feeling completely out to lunch here.
Yeah,
People
they're
have said
looking
Joe
it up
Malone.
online. There's no one that knows that.
Is that the mailman Malone?
No.
The mailman Malone?
He was more like the paper boy.
All right. Well, I learned a
Well,
lot.
there we go. Yeah.
But Gager wins, second week in a row.
Yes, I will take this victory and relish in it. Maybe with a little ketchup.
It was extremely tough.
It was very difficult. I usually don't go past the 50s, just to let you know.
I probably won't go past the 70s.
Yeah, probably not. But thanks. If anything, what I like about this, Koob, is you are putting in a lot of work.
Yes.
To find these questions.
Maybe too much work because it doesn't. You guys don't even get it. There's no fun.
Maybe maybe you should get.
I don't
out
think
a
I've
little bit
answered.
more.
I don't think I've answered a question in 2 weeks.
This guy's sitting at home looking at this stuff for a week now.
Deskra says put an asterisk beside today's win.
I think we've done that every single time, guys.
That's
smokes.
good. That's good. Yeah.
That's
looking
too
up
funny, man.
Art Ross. That's crazy. You would have thought this guy was just a scoring machine.
Turns out he wasn't, I guess. I don't know.
Portion of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. NHL lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankers of Molson Canadian and Coors Light, and you can win game tickets and 2 tickets to a surf and turf dinner at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. That does it for another edition of Heat and Smoke. And there's kind of easy trivia.
There was a lot of fire,
but then
a lot of water.
Extremely hard kind of trivia. Here.
Very impossible. We'll never get trivia.
I don't mind it though. It's testing our knowledge, and so far we're failing.
Yeah. I don't know any of these things.
Yeah,
but it's good. Some people do.
Yeah, for sure. Keep slamming that thumbs up. Only at 54. Those are bad numbers. No faith in the Oil tonight. No faith in the Oil. Slam that thumbs up if you think the Oilers will win tonight. We probably won't get one. All right, coming up next, we're going to switch gears quickly and talk some NBA as Luka takes on the Dallas Mavericks. We'll be joined by Eddie Sefko from Mavs.com for a quick conversation on the game tonight and how things are, how people are dealing with the departure of Luka in Dallas weeks and weeks after the blockbuster, enormous, probably the biggest trade in North America in a long, long time. So we're going to have some fun there as well. And of course, this day in sports history, and we'll get you ready for the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Keep slamming the thumbs up. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat. Text the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. We're back after the break to talk some hoops. Here's Koob with your sports update.
Edmonton looks to snap their 3-game slide as they battle the Lightning from Tampa Bay. And you can catch Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas as they tee up the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live at 4:30 only on EST. And from Detroit, Andrew Kopp has been ruled out for the remainder of the season, undergoing surgery to repair his left pectoral tendon, needing 4 to 6 months to recover. And down south, Khalil Shakir and the Bills have agreed to a 4-year extension, keeping the 25-year-old with the team through 2029. Shakir caught 76 passes last season, good for 800 yards and 4 touchdowns on the Bills squad. And on the court, the Raptors face the Celtics. Golden State plays Charlotte while Luka Doncic returns to Dallas when his Lakers take on the Mavs, seeing 7 games around the association. 15 games in spring training. The Jays hold the Cardinals 3-2 in the 7th. The Diamondbacks and Cubs are just getting underway while the Astros lead 5-4 on the Mets in the 5th. This sports update is brought to you by the Capital Care Foundation. Financial support deeply affects residents at Capital Care, and whether it's a one-time donation or a monthly contribution, every penny counts. Find out how you can donate at capitalcarefoundation.net. Eddie Sefko from Mavs.com joins us to talk some NBA on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Make your birthday legendary at the Canadian Brewhouse with epic food, killer drinks, and an unbeatable vibe. Plus, download the Canadian Brewhouse app and score free nachos on your big day. Book your party now to celebrate like a pro. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
.224, welcome back to EST Afternoons. We just had heat and smoke. It was extremely hard. Kudos to Koob for the question. So, I mean, we learned a lot.
Yeah, we did.
We did. Very informative, but I think he's going to have to dial it back a bit if we're going to ever answer a question. Or maybe we just suck.
Probably we should put in a little bit more.
I was just expecting too much from you guys. I thought you guys were a wealth of knowledge yourself.
If I still had my Encyclopedia Britannicas, I'd go through them all.
Yeah. Hit us up on the nasty chat. There's a lot of people chiming in on the Oilers. D-Rock wants Bouchard to play forward. That's probably the last guy you want. No emotion, no intensity, no physicality.
Yeah, I don't like his chance of getting in on the forecheck.
But it's gonna be an interesting game, man. I mean, the Oilers better show up tonight, or else it's gonna get ugly here in Edmonton. 3 more games on the road trip: Tampa tonight, Florida Thursday, and Carolina on Saturday. That's a 5 o'clock start as well. All early games, which is nice. So you can tune into Luka and the Mavs tonight. That gets going at 8 on TSN, as we're just ahead of Eddie Sefko, who's with Mavs.com. Let's just have a quick conversation on the game tonight and how people are dealing with the departure of one of the great young players that no one saw coming. I think that news dropped, 11 p.m. on a Saturday night, which is absolutely unreal. So if you want to double dip, you got the Oiler game, then you can flip over to the hoops as Koob is working on Eddie right now. We'll have him on shortly. This could be ugly tonight, guys. If Kucherov, Point, and Hagel come to play, that's from D-Rock. Yeah, I mean, but the Oilers have good players too. I mean, McDavid's got to be a lot better.
Yeah, and I think you'll get that, right? You'll get something from those guys. You can't really fault Connor McDavid for a lackluster effort over the weekend. It just very difficult going from that high to he scored the winner, dude. Like
it's a lot, and
it's a lot.
I know I said it. I would have not played him Saturday.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't have. Really shouldn't have. And he probably was asked. I'm sure. Well,
I get it, but you're the coach.
Yeah,
hey, Connor, I know you want to play, but you've played a lot, and you had a late night, and
we got this one for you.
We got this one. They didn't, but
no,
they lost 6-3. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. We'll see what happens. The Oilers. I mean, I think they've played well in Tampa recently, Gage. They just can't seem to find that win.
Yeah.
I'm just quickly going to look at their head-to-head as we're waiting on Eddie Sefko from Mavs.com here on EST Afternoons. Koob, just try one more time, please. So let's see here. So they they won in 2022, November. That's the last time they won in Tampa Bay. No, they haven't played there a lot, to be fair. They've only made one more trip there. So that was a 3-2 win. And then last year they lost in November. They lost 6-4. That was a crazy game. The Oilers kind of blew it. They were playing really well, took the lead, and then completely fell off. Yeah.
I mean, I always like selfishly, I like these games because you get to see some other top-notch players. And I love watching Kucherov, man.
I'm watching Vasilevsky. I love the way he moves in the net, right? So, also with, I'm intrigued to see Stuart Skinner.
Yeah,
I am. I want to see when one goal goes by him. I want to see his body language.
Oh, okay.
I want to see if he's down on himself. I want to see if he's, because you got to battle, man. You're gonna get scored on.
You got to battle through this one.
This is tough. He's got to find, and he's taking a lot of heat here in Edmonton as we're under 2 weeks away from the trade deadline, Joaquin. On Friday will be 1 week, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the Edmonton Oilers tonight. I'll say they're going to win. I think they're just going to show up. Like I said, I've seen this song and dance way too many times from this team, especially this core. When they're down and everybody has them down and everybody's losing their minds, they always show up and kind of flip the script. So I'm expecting the same tonight. Don't come at me, though, if I'm wrong, but I'm just keeping it positive. All right, let's switch gears. A big game tonight is the Lakers-Mavericks. Luka to play against his former team and talk all things Mavs and Lakers. Here is Eddie Sefko from Mavs.com. Eddie, thank you for taking the time to join us here in the cold Edmonton. Hello?
I'll tell you what, we would have given you guys a run. Hello.
Oh, yeah. How cold did it get in Dallas?
We would have given you a run last week. Not anywhere in y'all's territory, but for us, 10 degrees is pretty darn cold. So, but it's nice here today. It's only 75 degrees here today. So,
Eddie, last week we finally got out of a cold freeze. It was about +6, and we had a lot of people in this city in sandals and shorts walking outside. So it was absolutely crazy. Eddie, before we get to the big game tonight, what's the vibe now that the trade is kind of, it's been done. It's been a few weeks here. I mean, I think still people are shocked what went down that Saturday night. How's Dallas and the Dallas fans handling all this Luka Doncic trade to the LA Lakers?
Well, still not good. I mean, there's been a heavy blowback from the fans on this, and I don't expect it to stop. But the one thing that can be a deodorant for it all is winning. Mm-hmm. And they did win. They did win 5 out of 6 there, surrounding bridging the All-Star break. So it's not if they keep doing stuff like that, fans have a tendency to forgive and forget. But right now, it's still a state of shock. And tonight, of course, everybody expects Luka to throw his silver bullet at him.
So, Eddie, is this game obviously means a lot for Mavs fans? Are there going to be just tons of eyes on this to see and hopefully see that the Mavs can pull one out here, like you said?
Well, I mean, they're going to be really shorthanded again. They don't have any big guys, so it's going to be a hard task. Obviously, I mean, they got blown out in Golden State on Sunday and didn't look particularly sharp. And you know, the Lakers are capable of doing that too. They went to Denver and won a tough game up there just the other day. So I don't know what to expect tonight. I do expect the Mavericks to play extremely hard. They want to beat Luka just as bad as Luka wants to beat them. So that part I don't think will be too hard to imagine that the Mavs go out there and throw a big game at him. But and they know how to guard him. They should know how to guard him anyway. They guarded him in practice enough times.
Eddie, what's the status on Anthony Davis? I mean, in his first game, he was putting up some good numbers, left the game, and hasn't returned. But what are we looking at here for a timeline for the big guy?
Well, we'll know more about that in a couple of weeks. I think March 6th or thereabouts is when we'll find out more about his timeline. But you know, it's going to be another 2 weeks minimum, and probably a little more than that. So, but he was on the court working out this morning at the shoot around, or the morning skate, as you might call it up there. And I'm pretty sure. I mean, he wants to be back more than anybody, and he is when he's healthy. And you know, everybody has this opinion of Anthony Davis that he's always hurt. He's had a really good run of health the last 2 years. This just, you know, came up, and he'd only missed 4 games, I think, until the trade, and this year, and so, but now he's on the shelf, and when he plays, he's terrific. I mean, he's exactly the kind of player you want, but he's got to prove that he can get on the court, and really, when you think about it, the Mavericks, all they need to do is get together for the last month of the season, try to get some semblance of chemistry and cohesion, and then take your chances. Make sure you get into at least the play-in tournament, and then see what happens, because they've got talent.
Eddie, so I mean, obviously there was a massive sticker shock when this trade first went down, but you know, after a few weeks when things have settled, when you look at this trade, was having the big man like Anthony Davis, adding him to the Dallas Mavericks, is that kind of what this team needed, or are there still a lot of question marks of why get rid of a player of the caliber of Luka?
Well, of course there are still question marks, and I'm not sure those will ever go away. But you know, that you got to have a little faith in management and realize that they know more about the inner workings than this team than anybody else. And there had to be really, really strong, legitimate reasons for this to happen. And you know, I know Nico Harrison is a big fan of Anthony Davis. Maybe that had something to do with it. The age difference. I mean, they are rolling the dice for the here and now. I mean, if they don't win the title this year or next year, then it was a complete failure. But you know, I personally think they are shooting for next season. I think they feel like they've got all the pieces in place. They're going to keep pretty much everybody, and then take your chances. I don't know that this year's in the cards, but we'll find out. You know, nobody thought they had anything in them last year when they were the number 6 seed, and they made it to the NBA Finals. So, you know, it's kind of hard to predict the future in sports.
Eddie Sefko, Mavs.com, joining us here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. Eddie, I mean, you've been covering the NBA and the Mavs for a long, long time. How was it in your time with Luka and the dealings with him? How was he with the media?
Well, let's just be diplomatic and say it was a work in progress.
Okay.
You know, I mean, and we were not. He did not particularly enjoy dealing with the media. He learned to give and take a little bit and joke with us, but it was not his favorite part of the job by any stretch. And that really doesn't separate him from a lot of athletes, but his was a lot of you know, there were a lot of interview sessions that lasted 3 questions, and that was about it. And we were looking forward to his next syllable with bated breath, and then sometimes it just didn't happen. So, but you know what? That's okay. Players don't have to deal with the media to be great players.
No.
So, and there's no question he is a fantastic player, and if he stands the test of time, which, let's be honest, that's kind of the issue here, because Mavericks obviously think they had seen all they're going to see out of Luka. So, if he stands the test of time and keeps doing this for another 6, 8, 10 years, then yes, he will be going down as one of the top handful of players in history.
Eddie, great stuff. Dallas Mavericks currently 8th in the Western Conference, are in that play-in spot. We'll see how they do tonight. It's going to be a fun game, 8 o'clock here in Edmonton on TSN. So I know our fearless leader is going to be tuning in. He's a big Lakers guy. Eddie, enjoy the game tonight. Thank you for taking the time on game day to join us, and all the best, and I'm sure we'll have you on again.
Okay, thanks. Anytime, guys.
All right, that's Eddie Sefko from Mavs.com, and he seems like he's a good. I want to have a beer with this guy.
Oh yeah. That's was it me or did I hear like a little bit of a melancholy with him just with the whole trade, like still the question marks of it, right? And you trade for a guy that historically is injured quite a bit.
Yeah.
And this is a real important time for the Mavs right now. And they need their new big man to hopefully secure that play-in spot, right? So
and that's what when he said, he's they're all in now for the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens, because when you trade a guy like of Luka's caliber, you rarely win those trades. Yeah. So I mean, and I know, like, at their arena, they were kicking out players that had signs up for the GM and all that, and they were just not taking any of that BS. And Mark Cuban getting into it with the fans and all. But the fans have a right to be pissed off. It's like the Oilers trading McDavid out of the blue on a Saturday night, right?
Oh, my gosh. Are you saying McDavid's not going to re-sign with the Oilers?
No, I'm not saying that. Only Greg Wyshynski says
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
mean, Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving kind of...
I mean, Kyrie's elite.
Yeah, that piques my interest, right?
For sure. I'm going to dabble into that game tonight and see what Luka does. And, I know the Mavs are dealing with a ton of injuries like Eddie alluded to, but you don't think those guys are jacked up to play regardless of who's playing?
Oh, yeah. That's why I want to hear, there's going to be a lot of eyes in Dallas watching this game, right? Because, and Luka's going to, like any athlete playing his former team, is going to want to show him this was the biggest mistake ever. I got to look at my Coolbet account and see what the odds for a triple-double from Luka tonight is, because it's probably going to happen.
Bones is like, can you ask Eddie if he can say, all right. I love it. Good. Yeah, they did get a lot of snow last week. I was looking at some Twitter pictures.
Yeah,
and I was
they were
holy smokes.
Just panicking.
All right, up next, we'll close out the show, get you ready for Reed Wilkins with Jay Milne up until 4:30. Then it's the Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola. And then the boys will return for the last half hour. We'll continue to talk Oilers, this day in sports history, and get you set for Oilers Lightning. That goes at 5:30 tonight. We're back here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. Keep slamming that thumbs up as we say hi to the Winnipeggers, the Hustlerites, the WSTers. Thank you for joining us once again. We're back after the break. Here's Koob with your sports update.
In Tampa, the Oilers face the Lightning with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live alongside Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas at 4:30 only on Edmonton Sports Talk. 11 other games around the league. Pittsburgh meets Philly. Dallas plays Columbus while the Kraken meet the Blues. In Detroit, Andrew Kopp's season is over after he underwent surgery to repair an injury he sustained to his left pectoral tendon on Saturday night against the Wild, having 4 to 6 months of recovery. The NFL sees Khalil Shakir and the Bills agreeing to a 4-year extension, with Shakir having 4 touchdowns and over 800 yards on 76 catches last season. Meanwhile, the Raptors tip off against the Celtics. Luka Doncic and the Lakers meet the Mavericks on a 7-game NBA slate. Spring training action continues. The Cardinals and Blue Jays going at it. Blue Jays up 3-2 at the bottom of the 7th. The Tigers lead the Orioles 7-4, and it's tied 4-4 between the Yankees and the Twins at the bottom of the 7th. The final segment of EST Afternoons brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Two guys and a goalie.
As soon as I saw it go to McDavid in the slot, I can't even remember the next minute. Like, it was just, I hadn't felt that since I was a kid.
Isn't that just the coolest thing about sports? Sports at its best, Dusty, do exactly what you described.
Yes.
And we all had that same feeling in that moment of, it's like that warm, fuzzy, it's joy.
Two guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss the internationally recognized tribute, the Alan Jackson Experience, April 18th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Final segment here on EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Kubusch in the house. Oilers game day, 5:30 puck drop from Tampa Bay. What say you? What are you thinking, Oiler fans? Are you cautiously optimistic? Are you positive? Are you negative? I'm positive. I think they're going to win tonight. And then we're going to have a nice, jolly post-game show. No one's going to complain about anything. Right, Joaquin?
No, there'll always be something to complain about, buddy. And you'll still get the complainers. But even though I've said that I'm not too optimistic for the Edmonton Oilers to win this game, there's going to be a lot of good in this that they can carry forward. And hopefully they can come back after this road trip 2-3.
2-3, eh? There's no way they're sweeping this week, eh?
No.
Tough. Even without Tkachuk?
Won't matter. There's a guy named Barkov down there.
Yeah, but see that good?
Yeah.
They got a good defense. Forsling, Mikula, Ekblad. They're a solid team, man. And Carolina, the Oilers have been bad in Carolina.
But again, last year, if memory serves correct, that was the catalyst. That third period was the catalyst to 16 straight wins.
Yeah, it was. No, the Washington.
No, yeah, but they lost. But that third period, they actually played really well and scored a few. And they finally looked like a good team. And I know it was garbage time, but we were talking about that. We were saying, is this garbage time, or is this a team that's finally figured it out? And it shows it was a team that finally figured it out.
And it was that's the famous shot from the bench. When Draisaitl taps Connor on the knee, Connor taps Leon on the knee.
Yeah.
It was really bad at that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what turned their season around. Maybe they can. Maybe this road trip can do the same for this group. Again, they've lost 3 straight games, 2 this weekend that were awful performances. The Colorado game was back and forth. It was a while ago, so I'm not gonna be too harsh on that one. But yeah, the last 2 games were unacceptable for this team, and they have to have a good first period, a good second period, a good third period. And if you missed it, Jeff Skinner's out. It boggles my mind. He's been really good in the new year. 11 goals. I don't get it. You brought in John Klimberg and you're sitting him out for Troy Stecher. I don't get that either. You got 5 games until the deadline. See what you got. Like, it's now. A lot of people have said, Hernan, what if he's not feeling well? Okay, well, that's concerning too, because he hasn't played a lot of hockey.
Yeah, that could be it, I guess. But
why can't the Oilers be like the Jets and win 10 straight games?
I'd rather. I think
this is good.
You don't need 10 straight now. You need 10 straight
in the playoffs
after game 82.
No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. And I mean. Yeah, we'll see what happens tonight. How long before they go nuclear? I am not a big fan of the lines today.
You can almost put a stopwatch to it, actually. What do you say?
Because for me, it depends. If Tampa scores first, I think he does it quicker.
I don't. I think it could be 0-0 and 10-minute mark. You'll see them together for the rest of the game.
I think he always waits for something to happen.
So they say... Eric said Cirelli probably get the I wonder
the McDavid line and then Kucherov point go ahead.
Just because Draisaitl's been the one that's
been really.
I would say Draisaitl's been more dangerous than McDavid has over the last little bit, right?
Yeah.
But if they're playing together, then you put Cirelli. Then you come back with Nuge against the point Kucherov line.
I wouldn't put those guys. I go skill on skill, man.
What you would try to what? You don't have last change, so
well, that's why. If Cirelli wants to go against McDavid, Draisaitl, sure, and the other guys better take the other line.
Oh, they'll have to.
They'll have to, right? So I'm not trying to put my third or fourth line against that Kucherov line.
So
stay out of the box too. Another key, because that power play is pretty deadly.
Yeah, 26.2%, I think.
Oilers are at 25. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's come a long way, but 76% PK back in the pooper. And I think Tampa's just over 80, so they're a little bit better there. Yeah, you want that thing to equal at least 100, at least like 105%. So that's kind of where they're rolling, right? You want it about 110, I think, combined.
And I think the big matchups between the pipes. You have one of the best goalies in the world going against, according to many Oilers fans, the worst goalie in the NHL. But
you know what? There's that little snippet on Twitter with John Cooper saying on the bench, "Someone be selfish, shoot the puck in the net." And
Marner, McDavid,
you're up, right?
Yeah.
And what happens? McDavid goes out there off the draw, shoots the puck right away.
Yeah.
I've always, I don't like the overpassing, man. And against a goalie like Vasilevsky, there's only a finite amount of good chances you get. If you have the puck in the slot,
shoot it.
You got to let that thing buck, man.
And that goes back to what we discussed yesterday. What Knobloch said after Sunday's game is like, yeah, it's good that these guys know they can turn it on and turn this thing around. But he goes, that's a terrible mindset to have. Because then you're far too relaxed when you shouldn't be. And then one day you're not going to be able to turn it around.
No.
You know what I mean? So definitely interesting, man. This team continues to fascinate us. Slow start, a lot better for 3 months. Then they've fallen off right before Four Nations and then out of the Four Nations.
John Carlo in the nest said, Bouchard needs, I believe that's 1 billion knee taps.
They just got a guy just
tapping
Bouchard. Come on, man. How many Red Bulls is Bush had already? Some coffees, some energy bars. Like, that guy needs to get his head out of his you know what. And I don't care for his analytics. The eye test is good enough for me, and he's been bad. And he gives the puck away, but if you look at the list, it's all top end defensemen and players that lead in giveaways because they have the puck more. So. But the problem with Bouchard is some of his turnovers lead directly to goals, and that can't happen. He's got to find a way. I mean, this is no longer a slump. He's having a bad year. plain and simple. And that's the way it is. This day in sports history, Joaquin. Where was it? Oh, the Boston Bruins set an NHL record after going 23 games unbeaten, 15-0-8 during that time. That's pretty good.
That is good.
The Boston Bruins in 1981 and the Minnesota North Stars set a record for most penalties in a game. There were 84 penalties that totaled 392 minutes. You think it might be beaten now? No?
I don't. How many penalty minutes?
392.
No, that's been beaten, I think.
Yeah, I think it has.
Well, I wonder, they're obviously including 10s in that too, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Game misconduct.
That was the 1 year in the Memorial Cup was really funny because the Spokane Chiefs, they were just a beast. Kerry Toporowski, and they just had these big guys that were tough that could play, right? And the Memorial Cup was in the Quebec League at the time, and they were interviewing a tough guy that I don't know what the Quebec League team is, and he was asked the question about, you're going up against Spokane Chiefs. You know, there's a lot of guys with penalty minutes. Obviously, tough guy Kerry Toporowski has over 500 minutes in penalties, and he goes, well, I've got 500 minutes in penalties too.
Yeah.
And then the reporter goes, yeah, but they don't count 10s. It's just like, oh my God.
Joaquin, you said they were going to lose tonight, right? But it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I do think it's things are going to start to turn around for the Edmonton Oilers tonight, but unfortunately, I don't think they win.
Okay.
Start getting their stuff in order.
I think it's going to be a better game. A better game for the Oilers. I think it's going to be tight, but I do think they win. And I think Skinner bounces back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he's got to, man. There's no choice. That was last weekend was a big slap in the face. Like, wake up, right?
Yeah.
Time to get things going here. It's essentially March. We're a month and a half away.
Yeah.
It's time.
It's time. It's time for this team to turn this around. 3 games this week, starting tonight in Tampa Bay. Florida on Thursday at 5 o'clock, and then Carolina the Saturday game, a nice 5 o'clocker, so you can chill the rest of the evening and be happy when the Oilers finish the sweep of the week. The sweep of
it's a great.
the week.
I mean, it's a great week of hockey. They're playing really good teams.
Yeah.
Good measuring stick to see where you're at. But yeah, these are important points too. 2 points back of the Vegas Golden Knights now.
Did they win last night?
I believe
Last time I saw it was 2-1.
Sorry. I just had it here. Sorry, this is just looking.
They lost 5-2 to the Kings. So the Kings do the Oilers a big favor.
Yeah, but then they push the Kings closer. So
yeah, you can't.
It is a.
That's the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
You just got to keep pushing through. 2:54 here. Coming up next, it is Reed Wilkins with Jay Milne. They'll take you up until 4:30. Then Tom Gazzola will jump on from his remote studios. He's a little under the weather. And he'll bring you the pregame show with Cassian and myself at 4:30. At 5:30, Reed and Jay will jump back on to take you right up until 6. And then following the game, probably around 8-ish, we'll be joining you for hopefully a happy pregame show. Big shout out to Erik Erlendsson and Eddie Sefko for joining us today. Great conversation on the Mavs and Lakers game tonight and the Tampa Bay Lightning. For Koob and Joaquin, I'm Hernan Salas saying enjoy the game. Let's see what happens. We'll talk tomorrow. Ciao.